tunnel mouse. Tunnel snake, isn't it?
Tunnel snakes rule.
Tunnel snakes rule.
Secret
Up to no good.
Secret.
Even in the bunker, even in a post-apocalyptic bunker, there's some twerps bullying.
Excuse me?
Twerps bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secret tunnel.
What was that talk noise?
Talk noise?
Yeah, there was like a. Did you hit something?
I don't know.
There was a noise of something tick. Yeah, there.
This? It's my typing.
Oh.
Wait, can you hear my typing? Discord shouldn't be capturing that.
I don't know. I could hear something.
The guys have never mentioned it. Okay.
Okay.
What are you working on today, Stefan?
Level editing. Like I said, the level won't edit itself.
Unless
it does.
Unless.
What are you working on today?
I might make the rocket launcher today. I don't know.
Yo.
Mice. Go on.
Mice?
Mice.
Rocket jumping.
Rocket jumping. I mean, there is technically a Z.
No.
I'm just not making use of it.
I'm hearing rocket jumping.
I have just realized that all my collision detection happens as if you're at depth equals 0. Or at least Z depth. So I could technically add, like, if I added dodge rolling or jumping, I would just make it so you're, you, like, go above a bullet. I could make it so bullets are actually technically spherical.
Doesn't that seem really convoluted for a simple collision problem, though?
Yeah, it does.
Like, I'm sure it works. It's just like, why would you want it?
You know how in Isaac you can, like, go over and under bullets? That's how it. Oh, you can. That's how I'd implement that. When you see Monstro like using his big like vomit attack and he throws like 1,000,000 bullets at you, have you not noticed that half of them don't actually hit you?
I guess so, but
It's
I've never
they're too
thought
high.
about it.
Yeah, the bullets have a height in Isaac.
Never thought about this conundrum.
Yeah, so I could technically implement that, and the systems are kind of already in place. Hello, Small. A woolen sleevelet.
A sticky sleevelet.
Alright, sir. I'm gonna have to ask you to politely,
A smelly sleevelet.
Can you hear Chris okay, Small? I've installed her in my PC. Let's see.
I could be your Siri that bullies you.
Eh? Isaac is such an old game, you remember playing it in 6th grade. I mean, Flash Isaac is from, like, 2010, right? Very audible. Can you hear the Koishi music? Or is it too quiet? Let's see. I could deduplicate the weapon logic today.
Does that sound like fun to you?
Maybe. Well, I was thinking maybe it's good to do this now before I add too much.
That sounds like a chore.
Music's a good volume. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Boris. No, I think I need to do it because I wanted to start working on the rocket launcher, but I don't want to accidentally start duplicating code around unnecessarily.
Okay, then.
I guess I have to fix it first. Anyway, it shouldn't be too hard. I have my weapon system.
Famous last words.
I have my enemy system. If I close everything. Enemy system, weapon system, and action responder system. There's a lot of duplicated stuff between enemy and action responder. It has this handle weapon function, which I think should be pulled out. Let's see. I guess it's this stuff in here. Bullet counter fire, velocity modifier, all that. I guess the player doesn't have this predicted or basic firing system thing. It's kind of weird to tie that to the weapon anyway. Maybe it should be tied to the enemy. I don't know. Doesn't massively matter for now. It'll matter if I end up having, like, homing, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking that this can be extracted. So for every entity with an inventory and a transform that's an enemy, it does stuff. I think that's what I can probably pull out of the way. Because the part that actually decides if you're shooting happens here. Shooting target. Yeah, we literally just set weapon is shooting to be true. And I think that's all the logic that needs to be in the enemy system. And then I guess I could start with extracting this and then see what's duplicated with the player. So, all of this. Should be tied to a trigger held variable. This is bonkers, I wrote.
Are you reading your notes?
Yeah. I wrote, this is bonkers.
Great commentary for yourself. This is bonkers.
This is bonkers.
What does that mean? Bonkers like bad? Like it's a weird system or like what?
Yeah.
Because this is bonkers could also be like it's insanely good.
No, I think this is bonkers in a bad way.
Oh, bad bonkers. Unlucky.
So, let's see. I suspect that...
Suspect?
I'm suspecting. Suspicious.
Suspicious?
Huh? Oh. You've only used it in a negative context. I guess you've come to think of bonkers as like sick, where it can be rad or whack. Thanks, Small. Interesting
That is
commentary.
Bonkers.
Absolutely bonkers style. Right, so the enemy system now has basically nothing in it. It just says it's shooting the player. So, I'm already thinking that we can do a try get on the entity and we can decide the target is the player or not, purely based off of that. So let's see. Hurry weapon, original weapons. Weapon is shooting. Okay, this is already a stupid way to do it. We should do this. We'll already do. Oh, hang on. For every entity with a thing, I think we are already. No, that's not it. It's kind of annoying that I had this function called handle weapon, and what it really means is handle weapon. And this thing that I had before is like shoot weapon. But I don't see any reason why I couldn't just combine these things. For every bullet to fire. Yeah. Okay. So we need to construct the bullets to fire. So let's see. I think I can actually just put this loop into the other thing. Like this. And then for every weapon, inventory or weapons. So this is purely for enemies. And we still... Yeah, we basically just need these two things. So let's say... Need to get these things. Player position equals. We don't need this. We want to get the local player. Sorry, hey negativity. My YouTube music was filling over your text. It's lunch break time. How's the project going? You haven't been in a while. It's going really well. I think we've made a ton of progress recently. We've added weapons and switching, and enemies shoot you with guns now instead of their built-in gun, if that makes sense. That they have like an inventory now. You can enemies path around with a star when needed. There's all sorts. And right now I'm fixing a duplication problem we had from back when the game was more of a bullet hell and weapons were built into either players or enemies. So it made sense to separate them. Now that everyone's just using a weapon, I'm combining those into the weapon system to deduplicate a bit. So ideally a rocket launcher the player shoots shouldn't be any different to the one the enemy shoots, if that makes sense. Hey Vince. We won't stick around as watching coding in your break from coding sounds like a bit much. Oh sure. You can still just chat, but yeah. How's life? Have you been going to the gym lots? Are you big and strong? Big muscles? It's coming on nicely. It's doing well. I've gotten pretty quick at pixel art too. We whipped together this you can't really see it. We whipped together like a revolver sprite and like a rocket launcher and like an Uzi. We just sort of bashed this out in like a couple of minutes, so things are looking good. You pushed your bench up to 70 kilos for 6 reps, which is progress. That's pretty cool. Hello, both Vinces. You want to hit 80 for 1. Nice. I've decided my new goal for this year is to try and max out at least 1 machine at the gym. I think my prone leg curl, I don't know what you call it, the one where you lie on your tummy. Oh, this paint's still open. You know the exercise where you are like, you're gripping onto this thing, and then you're lifting like a bar here. You're like curling this bit and like lifting it. I don't know why it's doing that. Leg curls. This one I'm now doing like 90 to 90 something. 92 kilograms or something. And I think the machine maxes out at like 110 or 120. So I think I can try and max it. And also like what do you call it? Leg abduction and adduction. So the one where you are like, you're trying to either squeeze a watermelon between your thighs, like this. You're either trying to push them together, or you're trying to push them apart. Those 2 exercises, I'm like 80% off on the machine. Obviously the last 20% will be a lot harder to go up than any other part, because it's sort of maxing out your strength, but I'm getting there. It's funny because when I started I was only doing like 20 kilos or something, and there was a lady who her frame looked quite small, and she was crushing like 90 kilos on this machine, and I was like, how the fuck is she doing that? And now I'm doing 70 something, and I'm like, okay, I see. If she was coming here for a few years, I guess you can get there. How many reps do you do? Most things I do 12 reps. I had started doing knee raises. I'd started doing those up to 20 from 12. Like where you hang by your arms and then lift your knees up. Sometimes I try and push that a bit. But yeah. I do a lot of weight on some things. Like the calf raises, I'm pretty proud of my calves. The one where you sit like this with a bar and then that's connected to some weights on 2 sides. And you're basically just balancing your calf. And you're just pushing your calf like up. Like this. You're just pushing this weight up and down. This one I'm doing like 65 kilos on or something. Which I think is quite a lot for just the calf. But I'm gonna get those big cyclist calves, I guess. 12 reps of 90 leg curls is bonkers. I might not be doing them properly. I don't know, but it's what I've been doing. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Hang on a moment. I can just open my app and tell you. Maybe it was 80 kilos. Let's have a look. So workout history. I know this has nothing to do with programming, but let's be real. Let's see. So last time I did plate loaded leg press, I maxed 124. Leg extension, I did 95. Hack squat, I I noticed my hack squat's been stuck at 60 kilos for like a few months. I think I just never bothered boosting it. So I tried 65 and then 70, and I was like, this is fine. So I think I should start pushing my hack squat a bit. And mind you, I think the machine weighs 40 something kilograms. So 70 kilograms is actually hack squatting like 110, I think. Prone leg curl, I'm doing 83 kilos, so not 90, 83. Seated calf raise, I was doing 60, not 65, sorry. Hip adduction, I did 79, and abduction, I'm doing 75, so it's pretty good. My legs are going to be big and thick, and my arms are going to be little and small. It's important to stretch your calves while working them. Oh yeah. The only machine you can max out is leg extension. I'm slowly getting there. I think it maxes out at like 140, 150 or something. I don't remember. So if I'm at 122, maybe I can max it by the end of the year. I don't know. I'm aware that your progress isn't always going to be as fast as when you start. When you start, you can raise that stuff by like 5-10 kilos at a time and kind of do okay, because you're still working out what your actual max is. But then once you're already the size your body wants to be, it's quite hard to push a bit more. Exponential decay, yeah. Which is fun too, because then you just show up and you just phone it in. Unless you're tying a lot of self-worth to it, in which case that sucks ass, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, try get, transform on the player. Oh, what's wrong? Can't be const on try get? I'm not really thinking right now. Oh, it's not local player, it's local player dot player entity. My bad. I'm not thinking. Const auto. You are a potential pointer, so I want to say. Let's see. Try again. Now, I don't know what happens in this case if it's not there. I would assume it just default. I don't know, actually. I'm not going to deal with this. We're just going to leave it like this for now. I mean, the local player should have a transform and a physics. It's whether or not the player entity exists, I guess.
I'm doing a very ugly else if statement.
Oh yeah?
Could probably do it in a better way. I realized I only made the staircase work for one way. I've only made like the left-sided staircase.
Oh yeah.
I think I figured it out. I was like, this works, and then I just left it. I was like, don't need those now. So now I have to make the other side, which is just the same. It's just like directions changed. Which I'm sure there's a better way to do it, yada yada. I'm just gonna hard code it.
Yada yada yada. There should be calculate weapon, calculate bullets. The weapon and basically I'm going to do two things. I'm going to calculate bullets, and then I'm going to shoot bullets.
Are you making the rocket launcher? Or are you just
Not yet.
simplifying the...
Yeah, I'm just simplifying the weapon system, because this stuff's been spread out all over the place. So I'm gonna have one loop that calculates all the bullets for everything, and then another loop just after that shoots everything.
This does not seem to work. Why does it not work though?
What's wrong?
What is wrong? Oh, I just haven't changed it. Okay. That explains it.
Let's see. Silence. I'm just quietly programming. I can chat if you want, but I'm just getting my job done. It's nice, isn't it?
I've done something really stupid.
What's wrong?
Oh, I wish I could show you this. I've just made it the wrong direction, but it looks like the bass is moonwalking down the staircase. Wait, I'll show you a video.
Hold on. What game is this? This is the C++ project we've been doing for the last like 6 years. It's a bullet hell shooter thing. Are you sending me a video or something, or are you sharing?
Well, I'm showing you a video because I.
Where?
Well, I'm gonna send you a video. Where do you want
Oh, on
it?
WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp?
Yeah, sure.
I've just swapped the directions, I guess.
Let's have a look. Can I show this on stream?
Yeah, if you
Alright.
share your phone.
Made the mouse like moonwalk up and down the cliff. It's funny. Alright. Calculate bullets, local player stuff, start velocity. Let's say if registry.all of enemy on entity, then we're going to pass in our target. Hello, T. Sorry this is off topic, but what color scheme do you like? What is this? I'm having to Google this. Color scheme do I like? Soothing pastel themes for high-spirited. It's a community-driven pastel theme. Oh. I just like dark themes. This looks kind of nice. Cat. Puchin? Hang on, there should be a themes plugin here, right? Interesting, the HDR hates this screen. Oh my god. transparent. I don't know. Something about the plugin makes the HDR on my screen go crazy. Like how the tokens highlight in your ID. I'm just using I'm using Dark 2026, which it changed to. I think previously I was using this. And now it's defaulted to this new one. Which is, I've just gotten used to it. I try not to worry too much about it, because otherwise I can spend hours fucking around with colors, so I try not to. I know there's also themes like solarized and stuff that are meant to be better for your eyes. I think this is fine. This is readable enough, and it's obvious with this new one which things are coming from a parameter and whatnot. I like this stuff. This is fine. We're already doing a review on Transform. We're not. Okay. Mullen in the daytime. Mullen is in the daytime. How are you doing? Oh. I guess I just never set this up. Okay, that makes sense. You're porting your theme from different VS instances. You've got your own custom one. UK is what, 6 hours from EST? I don't know. I'm in Netherlands, so add another one on that. It's 2:20 right now. Here. Okay. You changed the font and colors thing, not an extension. Yeah, just like the VS. Do you not are you using VS Code or VS full fat? Because if you're using VS Code, you can like log in, right? And you can attach all your user JSON stuff to like some cloud login. So you should just log in anywhere and it should have all your themes and stuff, I'd have thought. Music sounds like Binding of Isaac. It's pretty ambient, isn't it? We need a target position and velocity. So here we're actually calculating the angles, and then here we're using them. This stuff we'll need to change. Okay, so we've got something here at least. Let's have a look at the action responder system. This is what the player's been doing. That's what we can pull out of here. Because ideally, it's basically everything down from here that we yank out. This stuff should just be the case that if the action responder system sees that you are clicking and that you have a weapon, then set is shooting to if you're holding down the attack key. Pretty simple stuff, right? Let me just paste this in here for a second. Oh, it's const. Just a little small thing. Music's nice, isn't it? Most intense live stream I've ever seen. I mean, this is the stream. This is programming. It's not. I'm not playing a game. I'm typing into a text editor. That's programming. This is streaming programming. It's relaxing and quiet and slow. It's not high octane action. Is C++ worth learning? If you want to learn C++, yeah, worth learning it. If you want to learn it. Let's see. We've got the player stuff I just yanked down here. I'd actually rather this was on the right. So let's split right. Let's see. So, weapon data is the same. Bullet count to fire is... in this case, true. Yeah, this is the same. We're only bothering calculating bullets for things that you're holding down the key on, or the trigger. Velocity modifier is... this is where you add on the velocity of the thing itself. Which I think if I add the velocity from the enemy to its bullet, it's going to hit you less often. Interesting thought. Am I doing something like that in here? Maybe. It's pretty adrenaline pumping. Thoughts on Carbon/Rust? Carbon seemed like an interesting project, and then I've never heard anything of it since they announced it. That's Google's C++ 2 or whatever. Rust is cool. Rust is really tricky, but it's really cool. I think it's a really cool language, but it's really difficult. Most of the things you learn about architecturing, designing code for a C++ project, or most languages, honestly, is so different to Rust. Having to think about borrow checking and stuff changes how you build your design quite a lot. It'd be like if your entire program in C++ was built out of standard unique pointers. Yeah, you would do this too if you could speak and code at the same time. You tried pair programming today, it was pretty hard. Pair programming is always good. You learn quite a lot. It does have does it have any advantages except for flex? I think like 70% of legacy systems or 50% of legacy systems are built with it. So yeah, that's a pretty big advantage. If you work in a company that you usually don't work in a greenfield project, you're normally working on something that's old and moldy, which means old and moldy languages. Use Python, C#, Java, and learning C because OOP always feels a bit off to program. Feels a bit off to program. I mean, OOP has its problems, but it has its upsides too, right? You're building like a UI, some user-facing thing. It's perfectly fine for that. We've solved a lot of things with patterns over the years, and a lot of those patterns have been built into the languages now. You don't see a lot of factories being built anymore, I guess. Maybe you do. We have a couple of factories at work. But a lot of problems with OOP have been smoothed out over the years. I don't know. Do what you enjoy, right? If your job's asking you to learn C++, then learn it. If not, then don't bother. If you have no interest. You shouldn't learn something just because just because you think it seems like a flex. OOP is horrific in Python because you can't really find reasons to use it and it's overcomplicated. Maybe that's not the right use case for it then. I always thought Python was a bit more, what's the word? Procedural. I don't know, I actually, with me in Python, I normally just think about it as using it to write scripts. I'm not thinking about objects and stuff. I'm just writing like a function that manipulates a string or something, or like opens a file and does something with the contents. I'm not doing anything complicated in Python. Let's see, actually, hang on. This aiming thing, maybe we can just extract for now as like, if is it player or something, you know? Let's just say... Just for now. We can make this smarter in a moment. This makes it easier for me, I think. How does this for loop change? I'm pretty sure it's just this collision group and mask that changes, right? We still just got a bullet velocity position that we're starting at. Collision radius is currently hard-coded for player. Kind of weird. I should fix that. Oh. Wow, thanks for the subtitle. Was it Tiachi? Thanks, dude. C++ is the industry standard gaming, but Linus Torvalds hates it. Yeah. I mean, he's having a rough time these days. Did you hear about the problems that with open source now? There's so many like people like sending their AI slot machines to make pull requests on open source projects to the point that it's swamping them with like useless PRs. They're solving simple PRs which are left problematic on purpose to give new developers like something to bite their teeth into. So having a robot solve it defeats the purpose. They're getting like constant spam, and I think they're talking about maybe like restricting, like making it so you can only make a PR on Linux and these open source projects if you're in like a mailing list or something. So they've like vetted you to be a real person. Tiachi. Like T-H-E. Oh, love you from TF2, brother. Thanks, buddy. This is just like TF2, isn't it? We have bullets and stuff. Hey, Twitch user, isn't C# a good alternative to game development? It is. C# is used in Unity and Godot. You can totally use C#. You just have to remember the pitfalls. You have much lower control over memory management in everything but C++. So if you want a game to run very fast and efficient, there's a reason that most studios use C++. There's no move semantics in C# to my knowledge. Bless you. Godot, yeah. Collision is this stuff, team is this stuff, so team... How about this? Instead of is player, we're going to pass in the team. So we're going to say team enemy, team player. So instead of is player, it's going to be team. If team equals team player, else if team equals team enemy. But it uses its own language. Yeah, there's GD scripts. Yeah, but I mean to say like C# is a valid language for Godot. Apparently, I've never used it. I'll be honest, but I know Ace Roller uses it now. You have calc press exam you should be doing. See ya. Good luck, dude. C++ support in the form of extensions. Is C# a first-class citizen in Godot? You don't need to use plugins and extensions. You just built in from the get-go. I know GameMaker has some C++ support somehow. I don't know how that works. Interesting. I wasn't tying the radius to anything in the bullet. The radius was just something I was making up. That's funny. The weapon itself should definitely have like a bullet size. Do you not have a radius? Mass? We should extract this. Hang on a moment. What radius are we using now? 0.5. Let's see, rocket launcher, you can be a big thing. Revolver, you can be a medium thing. Uzi, you can be a small thing. I don't know. Then we need to go to Asset Manager. We need to go to... I don't know, bullet type. We'd have a radius as well. Something like this. Here's radius, then radius is this. We'd have a dot radius. Radius. And this is a weapon data, you need to have a radius. And that's it, we should just have it accessible now. Pretty easy. So now, when we are adding the bullet, instead of just pulling the radius out of our arse, because that's what we were doing. Radius is weapon data. What radius? So we just need to have the collision group and mask. Collision group, collision mask. What would the game be? Like a 2D shooter, top-down 2D shooter. GD script games can be run in the browser. C# can't. You should be able to compile. Are they not? I heard WebAssembly was getting a garbage collector, and because of that, you could start having languages like Java and C# compiled to WebAssembly. I guess maybe Godot doesn't have WebAssembly baked in. I don't know. This is beyond my my knowledge. Collision group and collision mask. Oh, just pass in the collision, maybe. Weapon data should probably just be extracted upwards. Should it? Yeah, let's extract it upwards. Are you releasing on Steam when the time comes? Probably. I think that's the best way to put it, right? Do all weapons have bullets? For now, yes. But indeed, if we add something like a melee weapon, we'll need to rethink how this is working. I strongly suspect I might do the like Skyrim approach, where everything is magic, even if it doesn't look like it should be. So in Fallout, which reuses the Skyrim engine, every bullet you shoot is actually a magic bolt. And every melee swing you make, I think, is technically a really short-range, wide magic bullet. So in my head, if I add a melee weapon that you swing, you are shooting a bullet, but instead of it going out and going like this, it like swings like that, for example. It's still just a hitbox. The same as MOBAs like Dota 2, an auto attack is just an automatic ability cast. Yeah, I mean, why not reuse the system? It's the same thing, right? We're just spawning a hitbox. how it looks, how it moves, that can all be defined within a simple switch statement to decide where it goes and how it behaves. But the behavior of spawning it and spawning it according to delta time and stuff, so if the game lags for a bit, you still get all your bullets out. Like the art bullet for a melee attack. It's functionally all it is, right? If there's a flamethrower, you know, that's lots of bullets. Why not? Just being drawn slightly different. Now what's wrong? Const shed pointer to weapon data. You are a kind of weapon data. Is this a shared pointer? So I just need to. And do I need to get the address of? You're a shared pointer, right? Weapon data. So I just need to dereference you to get a weapon data itself, right? Oops. You are now a weapon data.
You are now a weapon data.
You are now a weapon data. I can also just do this. Bam! You are now a weapon data.
Hello.
Wowzers trousers.
I think I've made this really convoluted and not very good. I've made the illusion of a staircase.
An illusion of a staircase.
That only works if you don't walk. Or
Well,
you can walk.
you can just hope that players behave.
No, this isn't. This ain't right.
We should probably be interpolating this position, right? In which case we should be passing in the whole tick info structure. Eh? Oh, cock. Hang on a moment, was I doing this in update before? Hang on a moment. Action responder system. Oh, player was shooting in update, and enemy was shooting in tick. That's funny. What was it? Where are you? You're in tick. Yeah, enemy was shooting in tick and player was shooting in update. That's funny. You do AI vibe coding, but you like the pure raw human dev. That's me. I'm organic. I'm full of bugs. Very good. Are we working on the game together? No, we're working on completely different games. I'm making like a top-down shooter and she's making a game. What game are you making?
Mouse-based game.
Mouse-based game. Yeah, mine's a mouse-based game. Hers is a I don't have any mice plushies though. Mouse. Beep, 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 beep. One of those little, you know, like beep, 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 beep.
I think I figured out the staircase. It's by limiting that you can enter the staircase only in one block.
Oh yeah.
I think I can make the illusion of the staircase work.
Oh, I'm missing something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I passing in extra? Oh, this thing. Yeah, hang on, I just need to think. Your mouse impression is too good. Thanks. We need to have an update in here. Hang on. Enemy system. Not you. Action responder system. Let's grab your update.
Not you.
Not you. So really, I mean, we're getting how many ticks? You had me spooked. I'm trying to think, what's the best way to be shooting these guns? Because update is basically running as fast as possible as the CPU can do it. Shooting bullets in tick means that the bullets are restricted to only being as fast as the tick rate, basically, right? Which is maybe reasonable. I don't know. IGN, fashion choice. Fashion choice is in-game there. Woolen sleevelets are like things that you wear on your arms that aren't connected to your shirt. So they're like, it's just having like just a sleeve by itself. Does server tick? Yeah, no, we've got tick and update. So we have update which has runs as fast as possible, and you get a tick interpolation alpha from it, which lets you know how far between ticks you are in this update. And then tick just happens, 60 times a second or whatever. We've got this stuff. Don't worry. This is good 5 or 6 years into development now. No, it doesn't look like it. We've got all the groundwork there done.
Is it really 6 years old?
Well, Woho 1 started in COVID, maybe 5 years. This is a restart, and I think this is already 3 years old on the rebuild.
Why did you restart?
Because the first game was rubbish. It was rubbish. I made a playlist. But yeah, no, we've got everything's interpolated nicely. Don't worry about it. I'm just wondering. I've just found out that well, no, I've not just found out. So my players and my enemies were shooting in separate systems before because they had separate mechanics. But now I've combined them into just they hold a weapon. It doesn't matter when they shoot the trigger or why. They're just holding a weapon and it's firing or not. I'm combining it into one system, and I've just found out that the player was always shooting in update and the enemies were always shooting in tick. I'm trying to work out if it matters one way or the other. That's all. But now I'm gonna at least move this first half into update. So we have frame info being passed into calculate bullets. Like this. Sorry, I don't know how much info you need on the game. I can give you a brief explanation of some things if you'd like. It's a pretty old project now. You're embarrassed not knowing you're in the Netherlands. I know you from 2020. I think I moved to the Netherlands in 2020, so... There you go. I've been here for 6 years now, I guess. And ik spreek een klein beetje Nederlands nu. Goedemorgen. Hoe gaat het met jou? Waar is de winterpeen? Lekker. Oh, dankjewel. Alsjeblieft. Een kleine broodje voor mij. Ja, papier. Alsjeblieft. Tin. Ja. Jazeker. Oké. Bye bye. Doei.
You don't bye-bye.
Doei. I'd love an explanation if it's not too distracting using a framework. Yeah, so I'm using a framework written by Donut, who's not here today. He's a Swedish guy called libdonut. And that's for me in this project essentially sitting as a wrapper around SDL. It's got the framework's quite big, so you can do quite a lot with it, but I'm mostly using it for its drawing logic. But that's let me show you. I've got a render actor system, for example. When I want to render a sprite, I do that via his framework. So I pass in like a sprite instance into some render pass raw function, and then from this point onwards, this is all part of his framework. So all this, the frame buffers and shader, basic glue, and all of this is part of his framework because I couldn't be asked. I would like to do some OpenGL and some, or at least some SDL sometime. But for now, when I started this project, I just couldn't be bothered. I wanted to start doing game development. But I also like having some level of control, you know? I like having to come up with when and where and why to do things. But connecting stuff to the GPU is not a priority on this project. I'm also using Entity, so ENTT. That's the ECS framework I'm using, the Entity Component System framework. I'm using ImGUI for like the debug overlay. Obviously FMT. I've not been using it. We've got So Loud if I want to start playing audio. And that's kind of it, really. Most of this is from scratch. It's just, this is why this stuff takes so long, right? Like writing the collision system is like, this shit takes a lot of back and forth, right? Yeah. I have Interpain. That's cool. But yeah, so there's a certain amount of low levelness to it. Like if we go into the game header, or even to main, you know, we're setting up like a window and stuff, but the drawing stuff I'm delegating to his framework. You know, like we've got a main, we loop over stuff. We set up our window, you know, somewhere we've got our common header where we're setting up the sizes of various things and blah, 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 blah. I like this level of nitty-gritty, basically. Anyway. Do you have tick interval? Is that problematic? No. Okay, so... Interesting, then. How was I doing this previously in the player? Bullet count to fire, weapon cooldown loop. Let me have a look at this. Action responder system. Ah, the weapon data had a shooting interval on it.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. Countdown loop. Frame info.delta time. Okay, that's... Actually, this makes a lot more sense. We should definitely be doing this stuff in update. Using delta time instead of tick makes sense. Okay, this is perfectly fine then. So let's see. Position. We get a interpolated position. I call it get draw position. Maybe it should just be called get tick interpolated position. Because basically it just mixes between where you are now, where you were, and like how far between the ticks you are. Whether or not I should be using this in the shooting function is another question. Maybe I should just be shooting at position. This could be breaking some things, but easy enough to test, right? Perhaps for physics case, it would make more sense just to use the current position. Anyway, transform, start position. So we don't need this. This is the player-specific bit. This is the mouse position. Squeak, squeak. Squeak, squeak, by the way. Just passing the local plan. This is where we're going to shoot the bullet from. And now the target in this case... Actually, this is fine. Target position. How was I calculating that previously? Hello? It's the mouse position.
Mouse.
Meow.
Mouse does not go meow.
Meow.
Does not. When are you gonna make a feline-based game?
Today.
Yes.
Yes!
Cats rejoice.
Cats rejoice.
Something's wrong with my thoughts. Who did this?
I guess it's already const by default. That's fine. To do. I guess in this case, the player velocity, the player position is the target position, right? So we only want it in here. Don't need this stuff. We just want to pass in the local player position. We want the enemy to not bother shooting if there's no player. I think that's fine. 'Cause otherwise, what are they shooting at? Right. We're gonna pass in the. Oh, I did this back to front. Hang on. This should be like this. This. Okay, so now the enemies will be the players will be shooting at the mouse, the enemies will be shooting at the player. We just need to also get the player velocity in terms of doing this predicted thing. It's an interesting thought. I could make it so the speed at which you move your cursor is taken into account when you're aiming, but I think that's stupid as hell. Hello, Mapper. You want to make a game, but you have second to no knowledge at this stuff. Everything you're finding is too overwhelming. Can you give your advice on where to start? Start as small as possible, and then grow from there, right? If I were to say make Skyrim, that's very different to saying make like a Pac-Man clone. You know? I would start as small as possible. Starting on a project is good. No matter how small, just because it gets the weeds out of the way. You learn how to use your ID, the basics of the language, some basic stuff like looping. Maybe start by making like a... I mean, the one you do in school is like make a number guessing game where it loops. You make a number, like the computer generates a number between 1 and 10. You type something into the terminal. If you are correct, it says great, and if you fail, it says bad, and then exits. You can just build up from that. You can build a UI that you put your number into, and then you can be like, okay, well, maybe I can start having a bit more fluff. I would start with as small a project as you feel necessary. Keeping in mind that when you do it in education, they really start you small, so you don't get overwhelmed. If you're just learning the syntax and the basics, coming up with like gameplay decisions is too much, I think. You could try and make like a Wordle clone, maybe. Like that's pretty simple. You have the computer generate a random word, or you just have a list of random words it could pick from. Pick one at random and then have the user try and guess it 5 times. And then you could try and make that into the terminal as a UI, and then you can try and draw it to the screen. That could be a good start, maybe. The extra semicolon was not necessary. No, I'm copy and pasting and all sorts. Anti-gravity. Make the bullets go away from the player. Yeah, don't... remember the bot epidemic? I wondered if a dev implemented a mouse speed limit, would that work? I think that you'd still get killed by bots, right? The bot detection is never going to be as simple as restricting your players. These days, it's a pretty good use for machine learning, is to do what Counter-Strike do and have the players label bots for you, and then you have this enormous list of millions of bots. And that'll catch your basic common garden bots. The problem with bot detection is like when people have discrete things that they've only got like one copy of. You're only going to catch that really with human verification. With TF2, none of that's worth Valve's effort. They make millions and millions from people buying hats that the community make. They're not going to spend effort implementing VAC. Not VAC, sorry. Overwatch. The thing that Counter-Strike has. Or used to have. I don't know if they still do Overwatch. You could basically watch demos and decide if someone was cheating or not. It was kind of cool. Oh, we need a random number engine in here. That's a good idea. Enemy system. You are being constructed where? Oh, this is messy. I've currently got the A-star pathfinding stuff in the enemy system. I should definitely extract that. Don't worry about it. So you want a random engine and a random angle, or weapon system. Let's just go with random percentage might be useful to have. This isn't it. Like this, and then oh, I guess I also need to start passing in the asset manager. Because the weapon system needs to be able to work out what stats a weapon has. It can be target position. Target velocity is something we're basically going to have to get in. So in this case, I think we can just do this. Const auto player velocity equals this. Whoops. Need to learn how to insert the XML sum to explain for you. What do you mean? I think we started on TF2. Love Valve, but it's TF2 is not a priority. Do we love Valve? There's some things we like about them. I miss when they made software. Although that being said, they are making a new pair of VR glasses, aren't they? That'll be fun. Look how simple the shoot bullet function is. For every bullet to fire, spawn a bullet. And then it's got some lifespan of like 5 seconds or something, whatever. Random spread. Oh, random spread. What are you? I guess the enemy was doing something else? Oh no, the enemies never had random spread on their bullets. They always shot right at you. Oh yeah. It feels nice to take the random bullet spread out of the action responder system. God, that was weird. Action responder system is quite literally just the system for like reacting to keyboard inputs and stuff. So it's always quite weird that that's where the bullets were being spawned from, but you know. Whatever. I'm not even doing anything with the weapon spread right now. That's crazy. Yeah, we should definitely be doing something with that. What was I thinking? Yeah. There's so much looking back at old bullshit and just being like, why did I do it that way? How's the mouse going, Chris?
Oh, making a staircase, what a mistake.
Yeah?
It's kind of working, but it's really like kind of silly, like it's a little convoluted. I think it does. I think I need you to come play test it later to, because like you always break the shit to see if it's doable. Like if you think it's a good enough way to do a staircase. Because I think it works, but it might just work because I know how it works. Like I'm not actively trying to fuck it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Staircases. I mean, you're taking the hard route and actually implementing it properly, right?
Depends on what you think is properly.
Well, some games just make it so the player has to manually hold down and left to go down a staircase instead of left. Chris is making a like 2.5D perspective game.
Is it not just top down?
2.5D. You can see the front and the top of something. So her like little mouse character. Wow, angry mouse. Her little mouse. She has like a cliff, and the cliff is stylized as a 45-degree angle slope.
I did it in a stupid way too, because I should have just made like the cliff makes everything more difficult. So I was like, oh, it'll look cute. And then I thought about it. I was like, there's a reason people don't do this.
Yeah. She's basically got to write the code that makes it so you go down as you go to the left and up as you go to the right. So you just hold left.
That I'm putting the hitboxes for things down, and it works. It just doesn't work
perfectly.
Well, I don't know if it works perfectly. I feel like you could maybe clip out of it if you tried hard enough.
Yeah, painful. Why is game dev so hard? Because we make it hard. Right? We choose to do these things. It's the problem with perfection, right? You would love to be a game dev, but pay is just less compared to a normal engineer role. Oh yeah, it's a rough spot. I mean, it's a job that runs on passion, right? Which is why I'm doing it as a hobby in my free time. And any job that's fun, basically, is optimized to be poorly paid. Apparently I was including the C++ standard library. As you do. Random spread is a normal distribution of float. This is weird. Is it because this is a const function or something? Oh, it is.
I think I might have fixed it. I just need you to after stream test if you can break it.
I can try and break it.
I think it looks good enough. I'm basically locking me into only to do this movement.
Yo. What do I do in work hours? I'm a embedded engineer. So I work on like little chips. Not game development, but C++. So, you know, there's some crossover, like memory management and being... I mean, we don't use the heap at work. Everything's on the stack. So we try and do as little... We try and do, you know, as little memory allocation as possible where necessary, and try to pass things around as lightly as possible, and have to think about even things like... what's it called properly? The construction of structs, where you want to avoid padding poorly. You know, like you put two balls next to each other. You don't put a ball, then a big item, and then a ball. You want to pad them properly. I can't remember what it's called properly. You're goated. I don't know if I'm goated, but I do show up and do that job. It's a job. We use C++ at work, yeah. Cache misses. Don't have to worry about cache misses quite so much. It's something to think about maybe in game development, is to worry about like branch prediction and stuff. But at work, it's mostly about size. We have very, very limited hardware, like kilobytes of RAM or SRAM. So the speed at which something completes doesn't matter. So as long as it's deterministic, like we need to make everything behave the exact same way every single time. If it takes another 200 milliseconds to do it, that's better than it trying to come up with some hacky solution that's a little faster. Not to describe stuff as badly as I can, but there you go. I don't seem to be using this bullet velocity thing in player. That seems weird. Was I never using this? I'm trying. It's a tough job. I have a lot to learn every day. Is bullet velocity a thing from... Direction? Was this a thing from the enemy system? Where has this come from? Probably not in here. No. It's from here. I guess you just can't search for stuff that's been deleted. That's funny. I was just looking at it. This thing. This was the start velocity. So actually, we should be saying start velocity. What's this? Start velocity, start position, and then collision can be the collision we're passing in. And the team can be... Do we need team? Why does the bullet need a team? Is this used? Is this used anywhere? Because for team, we can just use the collision group. Why did we duplicate this? Hang on a moment. This team thing just seems a little weird to me. Obviously we're using it in here to make sure you aren't shooting something on the same team as you. What was wrong with having that tied to the collision? I guess we decided that collision was more for colliding with the world. Enemy and enemy bullet are both on the same team. Player and player bullet are both on the same team. Maybe it should be something on... maybe collision should have like a get team function. I don't know. Whatever. For now, I'll just go with it. Tell us about the game. It's a top-down 2D shooter. And it will have all sorts of fun things like guns and upgrades and enemies that you shoot at and levels that you run through and wow. Maybe even sound effects. If you're lucky. Fuck it. Let's do this nicely. Team equal.
I think this works. I think I got it sorted. Looks a little not smooth, but I feel like it's fine.
Thank you, son. Keep doing. Keep going, you're doing great. Thanks, buddy. Thank you, Minecraft. Thanks, Minecraft. Let's see. I'm just trying to see how much of this stuff is copied between the player and the enemy. Not much. I guess it's okay to keep this stuff separated for now. I would guess I would like to have the mouse aiming slightly different to the enemy lane. Yeah, mouse.
Are you gonna keep treasure rat?
No.
Treasure mouse.
Interesting. Kind of game are we making? I mean, let's see if it runs and compiles. I can just show you instead of explaining it. I've just been rewriting the weapon system. This stuff might be broken. Look at that. Oh, interestingly, I've only made it so that the weapon only seems to reload as long as it's shooting. That's funny. We should fix that. Yeah, look, you run around, you shoot bullets. The enemies shoot at you every now and then. He's very good at aiming, bloody hell. You should make a Discord server that everyone can help and tell some code. I do have a Discord server, it's in the description. If you scroll down slightly. Thanks. Yeah, look. Now the bullets themselves have their own what should I say? Radius on them things are a little better as well. Okay, we need to fix this offset. They're going to be coming in when you shoot, not going out, but I think it's because I'm trying to tie it to mass and I'm just doing it weirdly. It's also meant to be vibrating, which it's not doing. It's kind of doing. Yeah, that's the idea. It's procedural and stuff. Get a different level every time. Ignore the tiles on the background. It's just Pokemon Crystal, all the trees and grass and stuff. It's all for testing, huh? Anyway, let's think for a moment. Why am I doing it like this? Our position is already a Vec 3. Angled vector is a Vec 2. Okay, I guess we had to do it like this. That's kind of weird. What does get angled vector do again? It gives you a radius multiplied by Vec 2 cosine sine. Okay. How long did it take you to learn? I've been programming for like 17 years or something? I don't know. I probably started programming when I was like 8 or 9 or something, and I'm now like 28. 20 years? Is that right? When was Game Maker 6? Maybe I'm off by a few years. Game Maker 6 release date. ...2004, so I was 6. I think Game Maker 7 might have already been out. When was 7 out? Game Maker 7 was 2007, so somewhere between 2004 and 2007. So yeah, about 20 years ago, I guess I started. If you go back on my YouTube channel, I've actually got videos from 15 years ago from some old Zelda games I used to make. But this is not something I've learned overnight. I'll tell you that. This takes a long fucking time to learn. How much programming were you doing? A lot. Game Maker language is a fully fledged language. Obviously I started off with drag and drop. That was the point of Game Maker, right? But you very quickly learn the limitations. You know, you're using variables and arrays and doing lots of conditionals and loops and stuff. Obviously not as complex as this, but complicated enough. You know, you're taking player input, moving stuff around, detecting collisions.
Making the staircase.
Making the staircase. Doing stuff with sprites. You know, there's all sorts. Yeah. You know what you're starting your future child on. Probably the best decision I've made was getting into game development as a kid. It was because of a problem, right? Like, when I was a kid, my mum was a teacher, so I had to stay at school till really late. We just ended up playing a bunch of Flash games, and when we got home, our internet was too shit to play games. And I had like a GameCube, but at some point you get sick of playing the same like 5 games over and over. So I was like, I'm gonna see if I can try making games myself. I went down the whole path of like, because our internet was so bad, I couldn't play games. I just made them myself and played those. So in Warcraft 3 World Edit, I remember being confused by variables because you couldn't lock down the exact thing was. You couldn't lock down the exact thing was. It's a variable. Oh yeah. I remember being confused by so much. Game Maker has a lot of built-in stuff, like V speed and H speed, and I remember thinking that I could just make that up, which you could, and it let you. So I wrote like J speed because I didn't just want to copy the tutorial, and then I was wondering why it wouldn't work. But it kind of works because it's a dynamically typed language. What theme are you using? I think this is Dark 2026 or something. This is the new one. Oh, don't tell me. I didn't know about arrays for so long. Like, if you look at my old Zelda videos from those 15 years ago, I'm pretty sure the player inventory, it wasn't even like an array or a struct to hold IDs. I think it was just bool has bow, bool has boomerang, boolean has bombs, boolean has sword, or integer sword level 0, 1, 2, 3, or whatever. Oh god. Oh, it worked. Let's be real. I looked back at it the other day, like I was coding up a fucking storm, dude. I wrote the most popular Zelda engine. MC Engine. And then I made Zelda MC Engine V2, which was even better, and then never recorded a video of it. And also not as many people downloaded it. I think the original one had a good few thousand downloads, and the second one only had like 1,000 or something. I wish I'd like recorded it though. I remembered it being way better than the original one. Oh well. Such is life. There's loads of stuff I didn't record that I should have. Oh well, what are we doing? We're making guns shoot. Oh yeah, I wanted enemies to shoot out the end of their gun as well. So, start position. Here we're getting the predicted aim angle. We need to add on the distance. Let me think for a second. What's this 0.5 in predicted aim angle? Projectile angle. Oh, it's just like some default angle. Okay. That's weird. Is this always 0.5? Yeah, I'm just gonna remove that. Let's start to simplify things a little bit. Oh, you're in a header, thank God. It's just weird. Code smell, code smell.
Smell.
You listen to music, Chris, when you're programming?
Nope. Oh well, I do, but because we're in the call, we don't. I don't.
Oh, I've got it on.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
I've replaced you with YouTube.
Important to say, huh?
I can hear you over the music.
Yeah.
It's a public playlist. This is just Toho House set of Toho Project Mix Set Vol 3, 14 years ago, stolen from Nico Nico Duga. Obviously. There you go. All these Toho House sets are really good. This is a remix of Satori's theme. So, this get predicted aim angle thing, this cosine and sine thing, I can replace with this thing here, I think. Let's see. Oh, not quite, sorry. Start velocity, I should say. Divide by bullet speed. No, maybe not. We're coming up with an angle in some way or shape or form. We are doing a predicted game angle here. I mean, get predicted aim angles already doing that length check, right? Damn. I've just noticed something. Both sides do take into account the target's... In this case, it's the player velocity. That's funny. I always use the player velocity. Oh, that's really funny. Okay, let's say vec3 player linear velocity. That's funny. Funny, funny, funny. Ha ha ha. This thing. So some of the shit can move out of the for loop. If there's no player, we're just not going to bother dealing with weapons for now. For now. Because some games make it so they still shoot at like you. If you collapse or whatever, they still shoot at you after death. But for now, we don't need to care about that. This simplifies a lot of things. It means we can just assume that if the player entity does exist, then it will have all of this stuff. I can even extract this up out of the for loop. I can extract the player position as well. In fact, I think we're calculating the draw position. Well, not the draw position. Yeah, the draw position for... Maybe not. No, we're not. Okay, never mind. Player linear velocity. Yeah, this is a funny find. So, like, the player takes into account its linear velocity, so you can adjust where the bullet's going based on where you're expecting it to go. Like if you're moving up and you're aiming at a bush, you expect the bullet to hit the bush, so you have to take into account the player's velocity. And then enemies take into account player velocity, so they can actually angle the bullet at you. It's a funny little side effect. We don't even have to construct this collision every time. We can pass that in. We can say... Well, let's not worry so much about copies right now. Let's get it working first. Maybe this could just be a const, actually. Well, actually, this will be different each time. So, never mind. Let's see. Play linear velocity. So, anywhere in here that we are getting the linear velocity. This is funny. We can just extract that. And then actually as well, here, physics is this, velocity modifier is this. We're getting the inverse. Isn't that funny? Well, actually we can just say play linear velocity. Bam. That's crazy. Because the player's shooting away. And the enemy's shooting at. That's funny. I guess we could always calculate the angle back to front. Yeah. This is funny. You're not needed. Well, actually, maybe this is needed. Hang on. Gun distance plus a tiny bit. I think this is needed. What happens right now if you're shooting inside of yourself? I don't remember. Because technically the bullet angle is calculated from the end of the gun to the cursor. Man, they've got such good aim. They should definitely not be using the predicted aim for this basic thing. Yeah, I definitely think aim type should maybe be something on the weapon, on the entity, on the enemy.
I think the enemy should just one-shot you with a perfectly lined up rocket launcher shot.
That's what it's currently doing. I spawn in and he just gets you.
The rats win. You lose.
You lose.
Rats win. You lose. That's right. Unlucky.
Eh? Yeah, basic aim vector is just giving you a normalized difference. Okay. Which is this. Wait a moment.
I think I've done enough work today. Yep, that's right. A staircase.
Yo, does it work?
And I think so. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, go on then. Ash, this is a little different. Yeah, this is fine. Where are you showing me?
You want me to show it on Discord?
You want me to share it with the chat?
If you want to.
I'll have to work out a way to share the screen, but yeah, go on then. If you share, I'll try and work out a way to just display the capture. Oh, there's like a streamer mode on Discord actually, isn't there? How do I turn that on?
No.
Let me try and work that out. Streamer. What's it called? Do they not have streamer mode anymore?
Ooh.
Hang on a moment. I thought they did have one. Windows settings? Did they get rid of it?
I do not know this.
Maybe they moved it? I was just trying to work out a way to share Discord without showing all my DMs and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. It's time to doctor. Can you not just unfold the window? Like,
I don't
pop it
know.
up as a window, your stream, and then only show the window.
Maybe? I guess I can try. Hang on. It's in appearance. Oh, thanks. Hang on. Where the fuck's that? Appearance. Streamer mode. Why was this not something I could search for? Streamer mode is on. Okay, it doesn't really seem to be hiding the names of people or their groups properly. Hide Discord window from screen capture. Yeah, maybe? So then what do I need to do? I need to pop out your stream.
Is it showing?
Hang on. Studio mode. So I can set this up without actually immediately showing it. Add source, window capture, Discord. Select window to capture. Discord.exe Chris. This doesn't seem to be showing. This isn't working. Hang on a moment. I don't know how all these streamers do this. Oh, here we go. Chris.
Is it showing? Is
Okay,
it showing anything?
I think it's showing. Just a second.
Is it full screen? Like, is the screen like...
Yeah, it's full screen. Okay, hang on, I can share this. Okay, go on. I'm showing it on stream now. I'm showing your
Is
yeah.
it moved? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear sounds?
I have no idea. I can hear sounds. I don't know if they can hear it.
I need to remove language because I'm not going to add language support.
Here's Chris's game.
Okay, it's my mouse.
Can you see Chris's game?
So what I've done today, this is all old. You've seen this before.
I don't know if chat's never seen this. This is the first time they've seen it.
Look, I will slowly demonstrate.
I'll hide myself, chat.
You can eat the coin. And then you can... Well, actually, you're not supposed to do that here. You can eat more of the coin. I've not made this yet. Can you see my mouse when I move it? I'm guessing you can,
no,
'cause
I
did
can't.
not. Oh, well, I haven't made this area yet. Oh, actually, I'll show you the bird.
This is the game Chris has
That's
been making
way-
for a few years, chat. I think years or year.
2.5, I think.
2.5
They're
years.
like a Hoover. You go around and you Hoover things. I don't know if it shows the sounds.
Hang on, I can mute Toho. You can listen to her sounds now, chat.
Well, I have not that many sounds in this game. I have not implemented it. There's no music either. But you can.
I can see your mouse. I can't see your mouse, but I can see your mouse, like the grandma mouse. Yeah.
And then you can shoot out the item, and it stretches when you shoot it.
Man, it stretches a lot more than I remember. Look at that. Oh, but
Like
the
the
trimmings
little
look nice.
details
Oh yeah,
that
the
don't
little
do
splotches
anything.
on the floor and stuff.
Yeah, and I've made it so this is supposed to be a tutorial area, but I've just not implemented any of the NPC quests. But look, I've added some
Oh, I like
cute
the
details.
little plants poking out.
Yeah,
That's
little-
really
little
cute.
things. And then
Chat, when you see
I
this on Steam in a few years, you have to make sure to buy it and give it a good review and
Look who
recommend it.
this is stupid character, stupid. I've not made the quest for this either. And I've made a little secret area where you can find coin. I've actually made the walls for the cliff now. So I keep wanting to walk over it because I did not make the walls yet. And then in testing, I would just walk over it to see what the area there looks like.
Yeah.
But now I can. It's actually a real cliff. I can't
Yeah.
I keep wanting to circumvent the yeah. But this is oh wait, wrong button. You can hoover up the snow piles. No, did I break it? How did I break it?
It's the demo effect.
Shit. Okay, well, we do this again. I actually don't know how I broke that. Is it
Welcome
'cause
to
I
showing off
shot the
stuff.
item? Is it because I shot the item at it?
Maybe.
I've never tried that. New bug found. So we're not gonna do that. Is that you can blow away the snow pile. But it's supposed to be tutorial. I just haven't made the tutorial for it yet.
This is
and then you can
spoilers,
do this.
chat.
But There's no item in this either, but it does work. There's just no item in it.
What's up north?
Oh look, this staircase works
Oh, it's
because
vertical.
I should not have made the staircase be like a carved out from a cliff. It makes so many issues with like the overlap and stuff. But this works very well. Like the up and down staircase is never an issue.
Yeah, it's the 45-degree one.
Stupid character.
What?
It's huh? It's this one, but look,
It looks great.
right? It's pretty. I even made it so like you hide behind this.
That looks awesome.
This is like 10 hitboxes. Like every staircase, I've just put one for every staircase. So it does mean if you hit the staircase at the wrong point, it's not like smooth. Like there's one point where it's like, do you see how you kind of like go in like?
Yeah, I think
increments?
it can be forgiven.
If you like hit it at the perfect spot, like here, it goes like perfectly diagonal. But otherwise, like you just kind of hit the staircase hitbox. And also you can't walk here, but I think that's fine. Like, you are not supposed to walk like up here, you just gotta walk down here. I think it works well enough. It's a little clanky, but...
I think it looks really nice. Don't you agree, chat? Doesn't this staircase look like the best thing you've ever seen? Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Are you voicing him as well?
No, there's no voice like that. Well, there will be like little Animal Crossing-esque.
Yeah.
And you can free him, and then he's like...
It's your favorite staircase. Thanks, Small. I knew I paid you well. You've never seen nor dreamt such a majestic staircase.
And then you can do like
There you go.
stupid little character.
It looks cool, right? What the fuck?
And then you can collect, and then it loops back to this area, and you gotta... This is the quest where you gotta like give them like a bunch of stuff.
I must have forgotten to
And
pay
then-
you. I'm paying you in Chris game. This is your payment. You get to see her hard work and not just mine.
Oh shit! This is the book. No, oh wait, it didn't do the book this time. What was the book?
Mystery.
Well, put it on the list of books to do, and then this is the area towards the town. But
I
haven't
recorded
made
it, so
yet.
you could check the stream VOD and try and
So-
work out from that.
I think I hoovered and the hoover went in and out at the same time or something. And apparently the snow pile didn't like it. So this is how you go to the town, but I've not made this, so it's not real yet. Stupid little character. That's
That's
it.
sick. Alright, I'm gonna delete the screen capture then.
Look,
I-
I got... Wait.
Oh,
I got...
I'll bring it back.
No, it's fine. I
You
just
can look,
don't say
you
I
can
got
look.
settings. I
Yeah,
got
do you hear
settings. Do they work? No.
What?
But this one actually probably works. I've just not implemented that many sound effects, but you can rebind. You can do stuff like this. Some of this works. I think full screen probably works. I don't want to try it out on stream.
Chris game is badass.
And then you can rebind. It's just not. It doesn't fit like on the screen. I've got a lot of rebinds, but you could technically rebind shit. I'm not gonna do it now because then it makes a config and it makes it difficult for testing.
Yeah.
And then you can do. Well, I had enemies before, but I think now it's just by default peaceful mode, so I gotta remove
Yeah.
this. That's
L
it.
mouse, W mouse. There you go. Awesome, thanks Chris. Great work.
Yeah,
You wanna sit and call while you're playing
Thank
League
you.
or whatever?
I'm not playing League. I'm gonna make food and I have to go to my shift.
Eh?
Not everyone has a day off.
Eh? Moi. No Chris? Why Hain bother? Alright, well I guess I'll get back to my mouse thing, but it's not a mouse, but it's like my mouse, you get me?
Your mouse game.
My mouse game, because I'm fixing the mouse stuff.
I'm gonna go make my dinner. So I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
See ya, good luck.
That's
Bye
a nene. Bye bye. She left, chat. She's gone. I guess we just have to talk to each other now. How are you guys? How are you doing? How are you doing, chat? How's it going? I don't know if I want to watch a programming stream with no Chris game. I was kind of thinking the same thing. Just kidding. You like this, right, chat? Right? Right? You like this stuff, don't you? Honestly, I guess this stuff is different enough. It's okay to keep it separate. I just kind of thought maybe there was more I could do. In this case, get mouse position is actually the target position. Is there much of a difference between getting this angle with ATAN 2 and getting it with this angled vector, all this other stuff I'm doing? I don't know. I guess I'm really just using this to get the angle for working out how far out to stick it, right? So I think I should extract this. Otherwise start position doesn't really change. I think this is true. This way we're sticking out like the gun a little bit. I hope you can hear the music okay. It's really good. What we're doing, I'm trying to, as best as I can, to combine the enemy and player bullet systems. I've now spent about 2 hours doing it. They were very separate, and I'm just trying to combine them where possible. because inevitably I'm going to make weapons that are really complicated, and I'd rather not have to do it twice. I'd rather just make a snake gun that shoots snakes, rather than have to make a player snake gun and an enemy snake gun. And right now, they have been separated. So I'm just trying to see where I can fix that stuff. The target direction is always same here. And the enemy always multiplies it by the bullet speed. But the player specifically adds on their linear velocity. Isn't this kind of sick? It does mean that for basic bullets, they're like redoing a bit. Maybe aim type should just be a component on the entity itself. It does mean it could technically have multiple aim types. That'd be kind of weird. Because right now aim type is tied to the weapon, right? It's kind of annoying that enemies seem to always insta-kill you. I feel like only certain enemies should do that. Or with slower bullets. Doing it with fast bullets makes it kind of a pain in the ass. Do we want the enemy's bullets to take into account their own velocity? I wonder. So the way the enemy's shooting like away from you, should it... If it's moving in a particular way, should that adjust how it moves? That would usually make sense, right? I guess we can just experiment with it. Let's see if what I've got so far works. I can still shoot. You can still shoot. I'm kind of amazed I haven't broken something. What's important is the enemies should now... I should probably not give them a rocket launcher. The enemies can now miss you because there's like random spread on it, which is kind of funny. I mean, it just works, right? And we're using the exact same system to shoot each other, basically. Now, the real thing to do is now to fix where it's being drawn from. So if I go to render actor system, somewhere in here we're taking into account mass. Is there a reason you have the if-else... blah 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 instead of passing it to the configuration of the weapon? Let me answer that in a minute. I just need to look at this first. So what, by the way, we're doing when the weapon is shooting, it is meant to just sort of tuck in a bit, but I also wanted it to change based on how heavy the gun was. That's clearly not working. Let me show you what I mean first. If I just delete this stuff. Oops. When I fire, it should tuck the gun in, like some set amount. Oh, my camera didn't come back. Here I am. I'm still here. This is... Oh, it's actually still going the wrong way. But you see it's like vibrating and stuff, right? It actually should be going the other way. When you fire, it should be pulling it in. Oh, you know what it is? I think I adjusted the bullet distance at some point. I actually tucked it way more in. The bullet used to, by default, be way further away from you. We should be using this X origin thing. Yeah, this is it, look. So in the... is that correct? That is... Well, I should be taking that into account regardless, right? So we have the gun distance here being 1.2f. Technically, that means like 18 pixels or something. So gun distance should actually be the weapon's X origin. So previously it was 1.2, right? That would be if the gun origin is 1? Is that true? It's how many tiles away it is, kinda. So... $16 times? Let me Google this. Not Google, so this will be typed into a calculator. 16 times 0.25 is 4. Eight times 0.25? Eight times minus 0.25? Let me think how I really want to do this. So yeah, 1 is 16 in this case. Now maybe getting paint out would make sense. So your player is here. This is 0, 0. This is 16, 0. This is also a distance of 1. This would be a distance of 0.5. And this would be 0.25. Here, here, and so on. This distance of 0.05 would be 8. This would be 4. 4, 8. Let me draw this better. Hey, Glara. How you doing? So by setting it 1.2 away, we were actually setting it to, like, I don't know, let's just say it's 18. I don't care. Doing good. You're working from home today, and you moved to a new apartment last weekend. Banging, buddy. What's the place like? You've got all your floors and stuff set up then. You've been busy. So I'm trying to go from. But let me say I'm saying X origin. I don't know how I came up with these numbers. 0.2525, etc. How was I coming up with it? What's this stuff really being used for? It'll be in the render actor system. It's how far. It's the origin of the sprite. So that's how far into the sprite. That's how far into the sprite that we are going. The origin is, let's say the sprite is 16 by 16. This is 0.5. The gun is 32 by 16. This is 0.5. Been very busy, but everything's painted. Floors are done. IKEA's been raided for closets. Now you're just unpacking some stuff and filling in small things you're missing. Awesome. You've been bloody busy, huh? Very busy. What's left? Unpacking some stuff and filling in the small things. You still need to do a couple of small IKEA shops and stuff. Or is your house like livable now? I actually don't think 1.2 is here. I think the scale is off. Right now I think it's actually shooting in like here. What kind of game is this for? Indie solo project. Yeah, indie solo project. Because it's a 2D shooter. I'm trying to think about how I can tie my X offset. Maybe X offset origin is just incorrect. Maybe I should just separately keep track of where the end of the gun is. Distance. Gun distance. Let's see, if the sprite... Actually, maybe I can just use the sprite width. All my guns are lined up to the right-hand side, I think. They lined up roughly to the right-hand side of the sprite width. And that's where the bullets should come from. So in reality, I just need to divide this by tile size to get the distance. That's simple. Yeah, that's actually really simple. I've been overthinking this. Well, no, I've just been thinking this. Gun distance equals weapon data dot... Do we not store this? Am I not storing the sprite width? Animation maybe has it? No. Okay, hang on. Weapon data. You should have it. You should have the sprite width, and I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna pre-calculate this stuff into weapon data. I'm gonna call it. What would you call it on a gun? The end of a gun? The barrel? The hole? Gun nose? Gun distance? Where the bullet comes from? Muzzle? I specifically want to mean, like, if you're shooting a gun, the bullet comes from here. This bit. Gun hole. Gun mouth? Exit point? Will it offset? Gun length? Let's go with gun length. For now, we'll just store sprite width until we can work out how to calculate it. Did I say it was file size divided by sprite width? You're a float. You are an int. In reality, we want a float here, so... C-style casting? Nah. Size T. Yeah, C-style casting would do. Will it spawn pause? Yeah, well, it's not really a position. It's complicated, which is why it's hard to come up with. So this meaning that if the gun is 32 by 32, the X origin should also be taken into account. Yeah, because the gun... If the player is this big, and the gun is this big, the player holds the gun at a position. So by default, they would be aligned in the center. If we add 0.25, it gets aligned a bit more like this. So we need to add the X origin multiplied by tile size. I think. Why is everyone use C++ for game dev? It allows you to have good control over memory. That's a big one. The amount of control you have over memory is pretty nice. Not just that, but also a lot of tooling is built with C++ in mind. So if you want to use preset assets and game development tools, those all will be written for C++ projects. There are a lot of advice and guides and tutorials and lessons and lectures and courses you take will be using C++ as well, because it's got, what's the word? Snowball effect behind it. What about Rust? IMO Rust would be really fucking hard to write a game with. It's not just a language, there's quite a big difference. But the thing with games is they're inherently quite unsafe applications, just because usually people want to build them as quickly and cheaply as possible, and if the game crashes here and there, it's not the end of the world. Rust is designed to be as bulletproof as possible, so it makes everything take quite a lot longer, and for game development, it's not really an option to think about the borrow checker. But that being said, there is a Rust engine, there's a framework, I can't remember what it's called. It's just, you'd have to learn quite a lot, and you have to work quite a lot out yourself, and I imagine a lot of common patterns that we use in C++ might not be valid in Rust. So you're shifting a lot of the thought from what kind of game you want to build to how you appease the Rust compiler to do it properly. I think a lot of the stuff I've been doing in my project is probably a little unsafe, but I know as the developer it's unlikely to cause problems, so I'm kind of okay with it, and that's one of the issues with C++ maybe. Is you were allowed to break stuff, you know, in C++, if you ask for, or in C even, I think this is a C specific problem, if you malloc in C, if you say, hello Windows, I would like to have this much data, you know, I'm going to have an array of this size, Windows may give you this much size in reality. So malloc is actually defined as this is really the safe space that you can access. But if you are, let's say you're coding in C again, if this is a string and you're iterating over it, you're actually legally still allowed to go over this empty space, because the checker for you, the one that gives you a segmentation fault. It'll give you a segmentation fault if you check here, because this is outside of the memory the operating system assigned you. But if you check here, it's outside of outside of your array. This is just program data. This could be anything. But you're allowed to check it, and that is fucking problematic as hell. There's so many off-by-one errors that programmers will easily write, or you know something will go wrong somewhere, and you'll accidentally start fucking around with memory you shouldn't. It's not an array out of bound error. It's not an error. It's undefined behavior. This is one of the key issues with one of the things you have to keep in mind when you're programming in C and C++. You can perform memory unsafe actions, and you as a developer have to be aware. There's no safety net in place. Maybe you'll get an error. Probably not. You'll get an error out here. Yeah, hopefully. But in Rust, it won't let you do this. My knowledge, there will be probably a compile time error, let alone a runtime error, telling you off about this. C++ certainly does not have a compile time error, and maybe it has a warning telling you about array out of bounds errors. If I wrote a bit of code that said like array of size 2, and then later on I tried to get, you know, 3. I don't think that's a compile time error. Rust, it probably is. Anyway, my point being, like, yeah, you can try using Bevy, but I'm not a Rust developer. I've written about 20 to 40 hours worth of Rust for a project to learn it, and I found it difficult. That being said, I was trying to do asynchronous stuff, and async with borrow checking it's a thing. It's tricky. What am I thinking? Sorry, I'm losing it. So gun length, I think, should be based on the width of the sprite. There's the end. And then you add on the X origin. So if the gun's tucked in a bit, then it's there. And if it's tucked out a bit, it's there. I think this makes sense. The gun distance is actually this. Oh, whoops. Weapon data dot gun length. Now, let's see. You're a radius, you're afloat. Oh, I just need to build, maybe. Okay. Now, it should mean that the guns actually come out at the end of the rocket launcher and at the end of the SMG, I hope. Probably not. I suspect I got something wrong here, but the idea is there, right? Local player is unused. That's crazy. Yeah, I guess it's not needed. Okay, cool. That's really nice. Yeah, look at this. Man. Alright, bow bow, bow bow bow. Do I need to... I think I do that wrong. Now I can make you const. That's nice. No, this won't work. Okay, hang on. Let's say enter position. Whoops. This makes sense. So we get the entity's position. Couldn't the angle be calculated based on... Hang on a moment. Shouldn't the angle be calculated based on the end of the gun? Something feels wrong here. I think I fucked something up. Let's turn off bullet spread for a second. This feels incorrect. Sorry, you asked earlier, I completely forgot to respond. Is there a reason you have an if-else player enemy instead of passing in a different configuration for the weapon? What do you mean? The point of this originally, as a reminder, that weapons were hard-coded for players and for enemies. So the enemy had a weapon and the player had a weapon. And now I'm trying to combine it into one system, so it's just a weapon fired by something. But obviously, the angle that's being shot will be a little different. So players are shooting at the crosshair, enemies will be shooting at the player. Right now, enemies aren't shooting at each other. That will be something for the future. Why not pass in a configuration to control the differences in behavior between the player's enemies? Well, that's happening up here. I think this is fine. This is keeping things rather local, right? So currently the weapon system will have everything weapon related in it. I don't want to start extracting things too much. Really, the only thing in here that is specific to player and enemy in here is that only the player currently is going to have their own velocity added to the weapon. Otherwise, this team thing is just shorthand for down here. Good eye, good gut feeling. I also think it's kind of weird that the bullet has a team associated with it, when we can already kind of work out what team it's on based on the collision hull. And I looked into this earlier, and I still think it's a little weird. So we could definitely remove this if we decide we don't need the team thing. And the velocity thing, perhaps we do want enemies to have their own velocity being passed in. Or sorry, perhaps we do want enemies to have their own velocity added to the bullets, because that's how it works with physics, right? You're on a moving train and you jump with the train. In which case, we would pass this in as a parameter. We would have player velocity and entity velocity, for example. And perhaps target velocity and entity velocity or something. Just want to hear your thoughts. I think it's a good gut feeling. I think you've made a correct question, and indeed, I'm talking about how I want to make this a generic system. It is indeed weird that I've still got sections in here for player and enemy. I'm just slowly breaking it down. I mean, earlier, this switch statement was only an enemy, and the player bullet section was this long. So we're slowly breaking it down until eventually, hopefully, could get rid of it. Opt in whether it inherits velocity from the owner or not. Yeah, there's that's yeah. I think you're correct. We're slowly getting there. It's surprisingly hard to chip away at this. So. Let me think for a moment. I was thinking that maybe I've screwed something up somewhere with how I'm calculating angles. I want to see if that's true. What's wrong? Gun length. Oh, where's this? Oh, you're in the wrong order. Okay. This thing, I'm unsure if I've calculated this correctly. Previously, we were hard-coding it to the value of 1.2, which means 1.2 tiles away, which is 16. So if a gun was 16 by 16, it was firing from the end of that plus some little origin offset and whatever. Let's see. This is way fucking off. Let's see, the enemy's also shooting at a weird angle? Hard to tell. This should also be off, right? This is a bug where sometimes I think they lose their target. They're shooting right out the front. Maybe it's just, how much is it off by? Hang on. It's just being calculated incorrectly, clearly. It's like a magnitude off. Maybe it needs to be minused instead of added. That being said, the bullets do always hit what I'm aiming at. You see if I'm following this grass. Even though the bullets are coming out from behind me. The enemy's shooting too far forwards. Yeah, there's something's way off. I believe the rocket... I'm going to give the player a rocket launcher. Hang on. Game... No, not game. Asset. Entity factory. Spawn character. I'm going to give you a rocket launcher. Rocket launcher. Because the rocket launcher has a positive origin, and the Uzi has a negative origin, and we're doing multiplication here, so it's possible that we are going way bloody off on the Uzi. Yeah, look, the rocket launcher's shooting way out the front, the Uzi's shooting way out the back, and the effect is way off. The point is meant to be that the rocket launcher is a 32 pixel long weapon. So ideally it would, how do I say this? Actually, how do I want this? Maybe I could just make it so the gun is always at like a pretty static distance from the player. That being said, I think long sniper rifle should stick out the front. I think having having it customizable on a weapon level to decide where the bullet comes out from. So if you had like a really long gun, having it come all the way out from over there makes sense to me. This is weird. He's still shooting at me. That's the bug. Sometimes enemies seem to remember you between levels, even though all the entities are being destroyed. So I don't know why that is. Something's not being destroyed properly. Anyway, I've clearly miscalculated something. Let's have a think about it again. Enemies, weapons have a X origin modifier. And a width. X origin in this sense is actually multiplied by the sprite width. So 0.25 of the way into a 32 by 32 is 16, whereas minus 0.25 on a 16 by 16 thing is minus 4. Is that right? Let me bring up Paint again. So the rocket launcher is 32 by 32, or 32 by 16, I guess. And the origin is in 0.5, then the origin is at 16. The origin is actually at 0.25, so the origin is actually at 8. Whereas for the revolver, the origin's at minus 0.25. Oh, hang on, how am I using this? Let me double check. Maybe I'm adding it instead of setting it. Render actor. No, it's just directly being used. So when I say the weapon is minus 0.25, it actually means it's 0.25 in front. We're poking it out to the front. And when it's positive, we're pulling it back a bit. Is that true? Yeah, I think negative means pull in, because that's what we're trying to do when we're shooting, right? Also, by default, we should be using this gun length thing. Let's just bring this in. Because this is to make it like a... And I ideally wanted it to also take into account mass. So I can maybe extract this and just say multiply by recoil. I don't know. Const auto recoil equals whatever this was. This is incorrect, but I basically wanted to make it so heavy guns recoil more than light guns. So I guess it's actually more like whatever. I don't care about this right now. Let's just say 0.f. This is incorrect. This should still be the X origin thing. I'm wondering if we should just no. Really, the X origin and the length is something we calculate. What I could say is all weapons are always drawn at a certain distance from the player. So no matter how big the gun is, so you have your player here, you can have a pistol here, you can have a big rocket launcher here, or like a sniper rifle, but they're all held at like arm's length. And maybe arm's length should be static. Because what I've actually been doing is like every gun has its own like offset and origin, which is maybe stupid, but maybe not, because you know maybe you want a gun that like looks like it's behind the player. This is difficult, isn't it? Anyway, the point is meant to be that like all these guns, they should be shooting bullets from the end. That's the other point. Maybe arm's length should be hard-coded. And then there's the other thing where some guns are bigger than others. We have sprite. Sprite width should maybe just be stored. How about I think it is nice to be able to say, yeah, this gun's actually over the player's shoulder, you know? Maybe it's like a shoulder-mounted thing or whatever. In which case, it does need to have a separate end and also middle. Oh, dearie me. I didn't mean to give this person a penis, by the way. Let's fix that. What do I want out of this? The origin thing already kind of works, but it feels kind of hacky. But maybe it's nice to be able to adjust that. And maybe we say that the bullet always comes out of the end. Unless it doesn't. X origin spread. Okay, hang on a moment. Practically speaking, the weapon is on some kind of sprite sheet, right? Doesn't really matter how it looks. And maybe it's got some like stupid thing on top, but the bullet actually comes out of here. Speaking, realistically, it makes sense to have somewhere along this that you decide this is where the bullets come out of. Usually it's just the right-hand side, like usually it's just sprite width. But it's kind of nice. The bullet coming out the end of the gun doesn't sound like a controversial statement. It doesn't. But being able to decide where that is nice. If I did make some stupid gun that's like a fucking set of fucking party balloons coming out the top, in which case the side of that right balloon is not where the bullet should come out of, it should come out of here. So I think we do this trivially. We simplify things. I'm overthinking it. We have a sprite width, and we should just say the bullet should come out this many pixels away, right? And we just call it bullet origin. And right now, bullet origin can be just the same as sprite width. So the bullet comes out of the right-hand side. Okay. Separate to that, where you plug this into the player can be whatever. I think you should be able to put this wherever you want, and the bullet just comes out at the end of the barrel. In which case, the X origin can be separate. Usually it's going to be like here. And what we've got for that, I think right now might be okay. But maybe we could also have that as a pixels thing. So By default, guns should be at some distance 0 that I come up with, which right now can maybe be minus 0.25 or something. I think most things will be held in the hand, but then only for very specific big guns, I think, do we offset it further. And I think that simplifies some of the maths a little bit in my head. So if we say X at origin, if we change this to, sorry, X origin. If I change this to additional offset, additional X offset, and we say that the Uzi is actually at 0 and the revolver is at 0. But the rocket launcher is actually offset by 5 extra. Could it actually be... And origin makes sense because it's... this is quite annoying. Because when we're drawing the sprite, we're calculating it where 1 is the width of the whole sprite. Could this stuff all be in pixels? Not. Kind of weird to use pixels as a thing, especially if the game's full screen. It's actually 1 pixel is like 4. We're handling that stuff anyway. In which case, maybe the bullet origin should be how far through the sprite you are. So, bullet origin can be 1, meaning it's at the end, or 2, or 1 because you're at the end, and 1 because you're at the end. This is kind of making sense. So we, whoops, nearly launched Genshin. The bullet's origin can be, in this case, 0.85 or 0.5. But if the gun is drawn with the barrel right against the end, then it's 1, which we currently have. This 1 meaning 1 times that sprite width is how many pixels it is. That makes sense. And then additional X offset is how far from the player it is, which again is something you multiply with the sprite width to get it in pixels. I think I've kind of got it. We need to start having this bullet origin thing as well. So let's see. We were calling this gun length before. We call this bullet origin. And that we no longer need to calculate because it's 1. But then maybe we need to add on the offset. This is the bullet origin. We should have a relative bullet origin, right? Something like... And then that should be... Maybe we calculate that. No. Yeah, I mean, we calculate that based on... And then maybe hang on. Let's write it first. We've got a bullet origin thing now. You got 2 of them. What were you before? Gun length. Oh. Okay. This is starting to annoy me just a little bit. Render actor system. So you purely draw it based off the additional Y offset, X offset. But we're actually going to minus 0.25 from this. This gets us to where I was before, where 16 by 16 like default sized guns are like a little bit in. But big rocket launchers are like quite a lot in. And then in the weapon system, where we're deciding this, I think we need to adjust this by bullet origin plus offset. So this should be a little wrong, but let's see if it's only a little wrong. Obviously there's no bullet spread anymore, so the Uzi is insane. The enemies seem to be pointing... Oh, they're pointing away. I guess it's maybe when they're shooting. Oh yeah. Interesting. Alright, that's obviously being calculated way wrong. But the general one, when you're not firing, looks identical, I think, to before. And the bullets seem to be coming out at the end. Ish. It's a teensy bit off. Yeah, so we just need to add on, that's the teensy bit off I meant. We should say const auto relative bullet origin equals bullet origin plus weapon data dot additional X offset. And then I might have to do that 0.25 thing as well. What I might do is move that 0.25 thing to the asset manager. So in render actor system, we're doing this minus thing. I might grab wherever we're setting this and do this. I've purely done this here to make the weapon JSON a little cleaner. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's see. The gun sticks out weirdly. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, it's indeed tucking in properly now instead of sticking out like it was doing before. You're sticking out though. Alright, the bullets are not quite coming from the right spot. I think that's just because when we're drawing in here, you're a little bit wrong. You shouldn't be doing plus equals this. You should be doing minus equals and then this additional thing. Make it look like the gun's doing this. That's not working. Oh, we're doing minus equals minus. Okay, that makes sense. Thanks, Tenant. I suggest that you start with Rust. Let me think. It's possible that this is just too small of a thing to even notice. Oh, we're multiplying by 0. I'm dumb. I'm so fucking dumb. How's the game going? Pretty good. I've been spending 3 hours today refactoring the weapon system to be shared between the player and enemies. So that's nice. But as a result, obviously, I found some problems. I found that the player was only shooting an update and the enemy was only shooting a tick, which is not a big thing, but interesting maybe to think about. Let's see. We just spent a lot of time thinking as well about like where bullets should come from and what parts should even be defined in like a file and that sort of thing. Should be plus equals, because that way it tucks in. Alright, that's the idea. Now... let's see. In the weapons... Oh, you'll like this, by the way, Donut. Action responder system, right? It previously had all the player firing stuff in it. It even had like a random spread thing, variable. That stuff's all gutted now. So the action responder system quite literally is just, your is shooting is if you are holding the attack button. As it should be, right? Similarly, the enemy system, all it has is the bit from before that was, are you shooting? That's not changed. Shooting target is shooting is true or false. It's pretty basic. And then the actual weapon firing stuff has all been yanked out. So now the weapon system has all of this shit in it. And mostly shared. There's a few little bits I'm still splitting. Weapons, bullets have a team, and I couldn't remember exactly why. I remember it was to simplify something. But I noticed the only place we're really using this is in, like, was it collision system? And we're doing the your team and my team thing. But I'm thinking, like, I mean, it's still fine, but we're looking at bullets. How about instead of team, we just use collision group? I know they're slightly different ideas, but we could also just calculate the team here. And then that way, the weapon system, we could remove this team thing. And then the only thing left would be that the player is the only thing that has the linear velocity added to it. And perhaps the enemy also wants to have their linear velocity added to it. We deliberately moved away from them. Yeah, we did deliberately move away from them. But I'm saying that, like, all I'm doing here to define the team is based on which collision group is being passed in for who I'm iterating over, which is based on if it's an enemy or a player. So indeed, I mean, I originally was passing in team and then calculating collision within. It's pick your poison, right? Calculate this based on team. We did at the start, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. Be passed along without regard to collision groups at all. Yeah, it just seemed weird. I could indeed... I can do that now, just to clean this up a little bit. You know, like, I did this to avoid a one-liner as well. I thought this was a little neater. Let's see. I can easily go back to this. That's not a big issue. It's just the fact that we were determining one from the other that made it seem unnecessary. Team. Oh, let's pass in a team. And then we can remove one thing. And then we can go back to saying if team equals team player. Team player. Here we go. And then, you know, and so on and so forth, right? Blah, blah, blah. Team. And we go over here. We make a fucking team. Bam, bish, bash, bosh. If it's a player, we add the velocity on, and that's currently kind of that. Which I like. I mean, we've managed to split this down so much that there's basically everything is shared between player and enemy. This is a little silly. No, actually, this is kind of fine. This is all fine, actually. It's not a big deal. Relative bullet origin. So I wanted the bullet to... I should be using this. That's probably why it's not working. I want the enemies to shoot from the end of their gun as well, because until now the enemies have been shooting from their center and not from the end of the bullet that they're handing out. What game are we making? Making a shooty game where you shoot stuff. Like the little mice have guns too. The mice shouldn't have rocket launchers though, that's... rocket. The mice should have revolvers. What's going on, little guy? Not much. How about you? Now you can see they're not quite coming out the end of the gun the way I wanted it to. Although, maybe it's coming out the end of the rocket launcher. It's hard to say. How's the mice looking? The bullet still doesn't look quite like it's coming out the end of the gun, does it? Just a little bit off. Let's see. Your own engine. Suppose so. I'm using a framework that Donut in Twitch chat wrote to handle drawing via SDL. And he's got a handful of helpful functions for like vectors and maths and all sorts of things. But yeah. It's a good framework with Donut. Donut, am I mostly just using your thing for drawings? I've been thinking about this recently. The drawing itself is via OpenGL, but the window is created by SDL. Yeah, but my point is the framework that you're wrapping is SDL, right? Or are you doing the drawing via OpenGL directly? In which case, what's the value of SDL in your project? Oh, you are calling GL functions directly. Okay. Is SDL just being used to manage the window then? Just to give you a canvas to draw on. SDL handles cross-platform window creation events and raw audio playback. But we're not, aren't we using So Loud for audio? Okay, well regardless, I'm using Donut's framework to handle OpenGL. So Loud feeds it into SDL, oh yeah. Well, are you interested in any Apex while it's still E-District? How long is it E-District? Because I also haven't eaten yet, and it's 5 o'clock. I wanted to at least get this work done, because I'll forget if I don't finish it. Because I could quickly eat Tomu, and then we can play Apex, and then I can do something else. What is it after E-District? How long have I been coding? We decided earlier I've been programming for like 20 years. It's E-District for another 2 hours. Is, I guess, Cake's around, right? I kind of don't care that much. I was thinking the other day that I wanted to play other maps, but is it going to Olympus, I guess? World's Edge. I kind of want to play World's Edge as well. I mean, if you guys both really want to play E-District, I can pause, eat something, and then we can play Apex for the rest of the day. What do you think? I'm a little worried that if we play E-District for 2 hours, you guys might lose your minds, and then we won't play later anyway. Anyway, bullet origin, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I need to do minus. Like, it should be this, but negative. Because really, we're trying to stick the gun into you a little bit more, right? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. That doesn't make sense at all. It's coming out of the wrong fucking spot. Coming out of the back of the gun. So it's not minus. That's enough. Maybe it's you minus you. Just trying to work this shit out. I'll explain this in a moment. If this doesn't... Actually, that fixed it. Never mind, I'm the world's fucking best programmer. Alright. X offset minus origin. can try that way around as well. This looks exactly correct to me, though. Like, the bullet is literally coming out at the end of the gun, and we can offset it by like a fucking 1 pixel to make it look like it's halfway out the end. But obviously the barrel is 1 pixel, and the bullets coming out are bigger, so it's always going to look a little silly. That looks correct to me. I don't know how well you're picking this up on stream, but on mine I can actually see the bullets coming directly out at the end. I'm looking at my OBS preview, and it kind of looks like you can't see that. But on my screen, the bullets are coming in right at the end of the barrel. Sometimes you can see it. So let's see, does that same for enemies too? It is. All right, brilliant. So that's another fucking mystery solved. I could tuck it in just a pinch. But you get the idea. I was explaining it earlier. I'll just very quickly go over it. The weapon, the barrel is somewhere in the sprite. The barrel is somewhere in the sprite, and the handle is somewhere in the sprite. And I like the idea of being able to decide that, so I can have stupid weapon shapes. And as long as it continues to make sense, I can place the handle wherever I want on the player, and the bullet and the hole wherever. And I want it to just work. And I think that's it. That's it, just working now. Very quickly as well, in the render render actor system. Here, I wanted to make the gun recoil more if it's heavier. So some guns will weigh 5 kilos and some weigh 50. So if it weighs 5 kilos, I only want it to go back a little bit. If it weighs 50, I want it to go right back into your face. So I wanted to somehow include mass in here. If we divide it by 100, then we get a number like 50 divided by 100 is 0.5, which is pretty significant. So maybe we divide it by 1,000. That's the opposite of how it works IRL. Yeah, I know, but in video games, doesn't the big gun have big recoil usually, right? Like the little piddly gun goes like, and then the big gun goes like that. Like if you shoot a big sniper rifle, it goes way fucking back. I guess it's more about the bullet velocity. It's about the mass and the velocity of the bullet, the explosion in the chamber, proportional to the mass of the weapon. Because I guess if you have a really heavy sniper rifle, it won't move much. But if you have a really light sniper rifle, it would fly backwards. The big gun is big caliber rounds. Yeah, I mean, this is just a bit of fun. I just thought it would be interesting to make the rocket launcher move back more than the Uzi. That's all. It's just a little bit of silly fun. And I'm just thinking if I just add the mass on, 50 divided by 1,000 is this, and then 5 divided by 1,000. So if I just divide it by like 500 or something, maybe this looks good. It's just something I want to fuck around with. You can call it recoil force. Of course, Donut, you've come up with yet another great suggestion. Because indeed you are... Hello, wait in time could be shot speed. I don't want it to be tied to this draw blinking thing, because currently it's using the sprite blinking when you get hit. It's using that timer to do the vibrating. It should definitely be based on when the last bullet was fired. Say, like, this one is barely vibrating, but this one's going quite a bit, so I want to just knock that up just a little bit. Instead of mass. Oh, recoil force on the weapon. No, I want the weapon to have a weight, because I ideally wanted to make it so heavy weapons are less are harder to manage than light weapons. So the weapon should have a mass. Maybe I should step it up. Maybe it should be like 50. Hang on. I basically wanted to make it so, like, if you are strong, you can handle heavy weapons better. Maybe 5 kilos is not much. Look at this one. I mean, how heavy is an Uzi? Maybe it's more like 10 kilos. I don't know. I've never held a fucking Uzi. How much is a revolver? Revolvers are probably fucking like 5 kilos anyway. Like, I don't know. These numbers are all made up. Is a rocket launcher 50? A rocket launcher is probably like 1,000 kilograms or something. I don't know. Yeah. So ideally this would be tied to your like one shot. So it would just go like this once every now and then. Oh, I just remember I need to make it so the gun actually still reloads even if you're not holding down left click. Yeah, the bullets should definitely have a mass as well, and then we do some maths on it to work out the true recoil. But that's kind of crazy style, right? There's a lot going on. I'm not making like a true physics simulation here. We're being a little silly. But yeah, okay. Is the flashiness of the gun arrow decreasing just a stream artifact? Yes. It's just it'll just be a it would just be how it's displaying on your 60 FPS stream. The game's running in 360 here. It seems to have been a great reminder of how solid Nuclear Throne is. Yeah, Nuclear Throne just, you don't think about this sort of thing, but it just looks great, doesn't it? I mean, this looks okay. The big thing vibrates more than the little thing. Let me quickly fix that reload thing. Minecraft? No. In the weapon system, the tick shouldn't be based on... is shooting. That should be getting passed in to... where are we counting down? Countdown loop. Here we go. So calculate bullets needs to have a... Oh, we already have weapon data. We would have the weapon, right? Yes. Okay, that's easy then. We just get rid of the is shooting part. And then in calculate bullets, instead of true, in this countdown here, we do weapon is shooting. And now it will reload even if you're not firing it. Wow. If you reframe it as being the bullet's mass, then it all makes sense again. Yes, yes, there you go. Yeah, look at that. The rocket launcher in the HUD looks kind of sick, I'm gonna be real. Yeah, bullet mass. Just pretend it's bullet mass, that's fine. Because really that's the thing that matters. But then when I was thinking like heavy weapons would take longer to switch to, so then it is really the weapon mass. So you could say it's weapon mass and bullet mass or something, I don't know. We need to work out why sometimes these mice seem to like... Look at these ones. These all are like... They're shooting at me because they're getting the local player's origin or whatever. But they are like... Their target is clearly not me. It's me from like another realm or something. I don't really understand how that's working. Anyway. Let's think. How difficult is it for me to have the thing vibrate per shot rather than... rather than on the blinking timer? Because the weapon itself has what information? Just give me the whole word. The weapon does have cooldown. So I could say... You ever really got where blink timer came from? Blink timer is the timer to blink when the player has just been hit by a bullet. And it just blinks on and off. And the enemy as well. So I literally just threw it together quickly just to have something. I think Chris is leaving in a moment. Should say bye. Are they targeting the front of your gun? No, they're targeting your origin. But they're calculating based on your motion, your linear velocity, where you will be. They're shooting where you will be. That makes sense. Hang on, I need to say bye to Chris before she goes. So I'm polite. Sorry, chat. I just had to entertain you with hand puppets for a second. I was chatting to Chris. Make the gun offset a function of cooldown shoot interval, just like the reloading GUI thing. What? Cake says if we play Apex now, we will probably play more Overwatch because he's playing Diablo later. Okay, for recoil. Yeah, let's not worry about recoil and stuff for now. I think at some point I might extract like bullet data somewhere, and we can properly do this, because the bullets have not been finalized yet. That stuff's all been very temporary. So maybe when we go to doing that, we'll implement it properly, because a big heavy weapon firing a big heavy bullet, medium. Big heavy weapon firing a small bullet, not much knockback. Small gun shooting big bullet, like a revolver, should have loads of knockback. You mean visual recoil? Oh, is that what you mean? Sorry. I mean how often it goes back. Like it should go back when you shoot. It should flick back for a second and then go back. So the SMG should do this, and the rocket launcher should do this. So the idea was basically to say something to do with cooldown and the gun information's what was it called? Shooting interval or something? I was just going to say, like, if your cooldown is really close to your shooting interval by some amount, that's the amount of time that it would spend tucked in. What did you say? Yeah. Same. You had the exact same thought. I'm just quickly cracking that out. And Tommy, I'll quickly knock this out. I'll pop something together for a small lunch, and then we can play Apex a little bit. Okay, so I'll be a little, not terribly long. I just want to do this one last thing, because it's been annoying me for a while that the rocket launcher vibrates like an Uzi. Let's see, weapon system. No, we want render actor system. We want to say, if it's shooting, we want to say, not necessarily if it's even shooting, honestly. We'll come back to this in a second. Just shot. And that will be weapon dot cooldown is close to weapon data. That'll be weapon data dot shooting interval minus cooldown, and we'll say if this number is let's say we shoot every 1 second and the cooldown is 0.8 seconds. We want to say if that is, if they're close, right? So if it's less than 0.2, for example. Instead of draw blinking, we'll do just shot. And then we don't have to do it even tied to is shooting. I think this makes sense to me. So if it's just shot, then it's going to be, say, if we just shot, then calculate the recoil force. And this could be stored on the weapons. We aren't recalculating it constantly. Then the origin.x plus equals the recoil force. Now this number will be way off. So, you know. Here's the idea. You can make a neat procedural animation by treating cooldown shot input as the time input and offset as the output and finding a curve. Oh, that's interesting. So like that instead of. That's a really cool thought. Okay, this is clearly not. Oh, okay. I mean, immediately. That's interesting, right? Not quite perfect yet, but I think this one's firing too quick. It doesn't weigh enough. Good barking. What are we building? Hey, itchy dog. I was just, today we've been refactoring our weapon system. Oh, hang on, my door's open. I need to open my door. One second. Chris forgot something. What was I saying? Oh, we were just refactoring the weapon system. I remember watching years ago the guy that got doing playing TF2. Oh, hell yeah. It's the same me, probably. Maybe 0.2F is too small. Hey Chris, what's up? Okay. This might be too small. So if we set this to something like this, it's possible that this cooldown... Bye-bye. Yeah, here we go. So it's tucking in like this. So it probably should be this here, 0.25F, be based on the shooting interval, I think. So it should be, if you shot within, let's say, 2% of the shooting interval, then draw it as ticking back. So that should make the Uzi vibrate like crazy. Can you see that on stream? And the rocket launcher vibrates like this. And we could make it even different. We could make it 0.1. Sine time multiplied by pi. You can treat the time input and offset the output by finding a curve that looks... Okay, well, we'll maybe do that next time. For now... I don't know how this looks on stream, but in person this looks kind of crazy. Could even make it even smaller. The idea being like, did you just shoot? If the shooting interval is quite small, this is already quite a small number. The weapon's vibrating very quickly. Yeah, you get the idea. Looks better than before. Yeah, so now the rocket launcher doesn't vibrate like crazy. Alright, I'm gonna find a place to stop it here. I think this actually looks best, because now it looks like the Uzi is vibrating, and the rocket launcher can have like a big explosion particle or something, or... I don't know. There can be a way to smooth this around. You can barely even see it vibrating on 60 Hz. On this one, I think this looks best. I think you can even see this on stream. Thanks for the stream. It was nice to see what you're up to. Hope to see you again. Thanks for popping in, Odo. Yeah, you can see it. I think this looks good. This is slow enough that you can see it, I should say. It's nice. The rocket launcher is obviously a bit big, so we could cap it. We could say shooting interval, like maximum or whatever between some maximum and this. So obviously the rocket launcher shooting interval is a second, so 0.3 is actually 0.3 of a second. So we could say min between or max between this and something min, I guess. It's good to keep in mind a lot of people will be saying on 60 Hz monitors. Yeah. So we can cap it. We can do a min or max to do. Consider min/max, so it doesn't vibrate so fast you don't see, or so slow that it looks stupid. All right, I'm gonna tick off there then, chat. We've done some good work today, I think. Things are a lot more procedural than they were in related to weapons, and they're a bit easier. So we now have the same weapon system for players and enemies. You can see they're shooting bullets. The bullets for the enemies are coming out the end of their gun. And mine as well. And the gun has recoil based on the speed at which you're shooting it. And the systems are combined, so that the way the players and the enemies shoot, calculate their bullets or whatever are fairly the same now, which is cool. The only thing that's different right now is that the player is the only one that has its own velocity added onto it. I may modify this. And also angle, the random spread, I've disabled it temporarily. we need to bring this back, and we also need to make it so it's tied to the actual weapons spread, which I think exists. Spread. So this number here, I want the Uzi to spread more than the rocket launcher. That needs to be taken into account. Currently, right now, random spread is this thing here, so it's kind of hard-coded. And the way I'm using it's not quite right. But next time. Whether mice randomly don't aim seems to still be there. Yeah, it's not that they don't aim, it's that I think the target is not there. Or the target is incorrect. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat a fucking protein bar and play Apex for a bit. So I hope you like the stream. I will see you guys later or tomorrow or something. We'll see. If Cake plays Diablo at like 8, I can stream something, maybe. Whatever. Have fun. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.